Schwartz, a Democrat from Pennsylvania, and Representative Dave Camp, Republican from Michigan. Folks, thanks for being here. Representative Schwartz, let me start with you. President Obama says he wants to create jobs but also control the deficit. Does this budget do either one of those things?
Well, it does both, and of course it's a major challenge. We inherited great debt, $8 trillion in debt, and an annual deficit of $1.3 trillion, and a really terrible economy. So of course the focus has to be on both, really stimulating jobs in the private sector, a number of actions to do that, and taking very seriously reducing the debt over time and the deficit. And this budget does work to do both.
Representative
Which doesn't
Camp,
mean that there aren't going to be a lot of
question to you.
questions about it.
Well, I think the real problem is there's $2 trillion in debt and in new taxes in this budget, and if you add in the cap and trade bill that passed the House, it's $3 trillion in taxes. There are a few crumbs they throw to small business, about $30 billion in tax relief, and those are good as far as they go. But if you look at the total tax burden on small business, it's almost $260 billion. That is not a formula to create jobs. It's going to be very difficult to get more job creation in America with that kind of a tax burden.
Congresswoman Schwartz, what's your response to that?
Well, of course, Dave asked that question of Secretary Geithner, and he gave a very good response, which is that there are numerous tax cuts for small businesses. We do feel very strongly about growth as going to occur within small businesses. We're going to really work to make sure that there's more lending out of our community banks, $30 billion. We're going to help small businesses in hiring new people. And, of course, we're going to make sure that we extend the tax cuts that are available to middle-class Americans. And as we did last year, we're going to make sure that 95% of Americans get a tax break. There are numerous other tax breaks in the bill. So
when we
think
all
this is going to be good
these
for
things
business.
that we're talking about, they're so little, actually. I know we're talking about billions of dollars, but in the scheme of the budget, we're looking at something that's roughly 22 to 25% of GDP. Representative Camp, there's a lot of folks out there who say the federal budget is just too big, and instead of slowing the pace of growth, you've got to actually cut the overall size of it. Is that ever going to be possible?
Well, I think it's going to be difficult when they create a commission that then says everything's on the table but spending. They cannot address discretionary spending. That is taken off the table. So if you don't address that portion of it, it's going to be very hard to do. And look, the tax increases are trillions of dollars, and that's going to have a huge drag on the economy. So the massive taxes, massive spending, massive debt will be a drag on the economy for years to come and make it very difficult, particularly for small business owners, to have anything left to hire a new person.
Representative Schwartz, you get the last word.
Yeah, look, that's, it's simply not true. We know that we are taking very seriously. This commission is going to look at everything. Republicans said don't look at taxes. Tax cuts for the wealthy is really the answer. We don't believe that that's true. We do think that spending and taxes, all that we do has to be looked at very seriously. We've already cut spending. 126 programs are cut in this budget. This is going to be difficult.
Their budget's
we
cut,
need to work
or the
together
pace
to make
of
this
growth,
happen.
like they've just gotten less than they were originally going to get.
Well, that's what it's about. It's about making sure that we don't spend more in the future. We want to contain spending, and we need to deal with what we inherited. But we are serious about both taxes and spending. Tax breaks for the wealthy also affects our budget.
Both members of Congress, thank you so much to both of you.
Welcome.
All right, American ingenuity at its